A midnight escape, a disappearing white hen, and a blanket that started crawling like a snake. Dr. Sapphire went to Akure to support her best friend, Ayomide, but she almost didn't make it back. It took a supernatural vision from the jewel and a midnight rescue ordered by the great lion to save her from a spiritual trap. Something just went down at midnight and the palace is still shaking. If you think your best friend is your sister, wait until you hear what happened to Dr. Sapphire. Welcome to Crown Gist. If you love the truth hot and unfiltered, you are home. But wait, if you haven't subscribed, you're missing the real fire. Hit that button and join the family now. My Crown Gist friends and families, sit tight because the story I am about to tell you will make you question every best friend around you. We are talking about Dr. Sapphire. You know her. She is the calm one, the educated one, the one with the pastor father and deaconess mother. She is a woman who lives by the Bible and stays away from palace politics. When she married the great lion, she didn't even want to come to the palace at first because she didn't want to be part of any group marriage. She stayed away for 6 months, going back and forth in her mind until her parents sat her down and told her, "Go, focus on your husband and close your eyes to the drama." And for a long time, it worked. Dr. Sapphire was the picture of peace. But then came Ayomide. Now, Ayomide is what we call a big girl in Akure. She is wealthy. She travels to the UK back and forth, and she just opened one of the biggest luxury malls in the city. Dr. Sapphire, being a loyal friend, decided to travel to Akure to support Ayomide's grand opening. She was supposed to stay in Ayomide's massive duplex for just 2 nights. Everything seemed fine during the day. They sold expensive laces, they laughed, they celebrated. But my Crown Gist friends and families, the spiritual world doesn't need an invitation to attack. It was 11 p.m. The house was quiet. Dr. Sapphire was alone in the guest room, fast asleep. Suddenly, her phone started vibrating. It was the jewel calling. Now, you know the jewel is the spiritual watchman of the palace. When Dr. Sapphire picked up the phone, she was still sleepy. But as she spoke, her eyes opened wide and her heart nearly stopped. Right there in the middle of a locked, air-conditioned room sat a white hen. Not just any hen, a spiritual messenger sitting right in front of her bed as if it was waiting for her to wake up. The jewel's voice came through the phone like thunder. "Sapphire, don't scream. You saw it, didn't you?" Dr. Sapphire's voice was shaking. "How did you know? There's a white hen in my room." The jewel told her that while she was praying in the palace, she saw a vicious attack being prepared against Sapphire in that house. She told her she must leave immediately. But Dr. Sapphire was confused. She asked, "How can I leave? It's midnight. What will I tell Ayomide?" The jewel didn't waste time with talk. She told Sapphire to fix her eyes on the hen and started praying. My Crown Gist friends and families, as the prayer was going on, Dr. Sapphire saw the impossible. The white hen didn't run, it didn't make a sound, it started to melt. It melted into the floor like wax until it disappeared completely. At that point, Dr. Sapphire knew this was no ordinary best friend visit. This was a spiritual war zone. The great lion was alerted and the king didn't wait for morning. He called Ayomide and demanded her address. The intensity was rising. When the great lion's driver arrived at 12:20 a.m. and started blaring the horn, Ayomide rushed to the room. But she wasn't happy that her friend was safe. She was furious. She asked Dr. Sapphire, "Why are you leaving? Why this drama?" She acted as if she wanted to block the door. But the final shocker came when Dr. Sapphire tried to get out of bed. As she moved her legs, she felt something big and heavy crawling under the blanket. It wasn't a cat, it was something that felt like a thick snake moving toward her. She didn't wait to see it. She grabbed her bags and ran to the waiting car. She didn't even say goodbye. The great lion gave a strict order. Take her to the jewel's house in Akure. That night, Dr. Sapphire slept in the jewel's own bedroom under spiritual protection. The body-body friendship with Ayomide ended in a midnight flight for Survivor. But the question remains, what would have happened if the jewel didn't call at exactly 11 p.m.? The intensity of this Ayo versus Sapphire situation has moved from just a midnight escape into a full-blown investigation. If you think Ayo was just a regular socialite friend, you are about to be shocked. When Dr. Sapphire got into that car at 12:20 a.m., she didn't just leave a house, she escaped a trap that was set to finish her destiny. The unfiltered gist coming in now is that when Dr. Sapphire arrived at the jewel's house, she was still shaking. She couldn't even stand on her own feet. The jewel, being the spiritual giant that she is, didn't ask her too many questions at first. She just held her and said, "The great lion has authorized your safety. You're under the protection of the crown now." But my crown gist friends and families, the curiosity was burning. Why would Ayo, a woman who has everything, the money, the fame, the UK connections, want to harm her best body? Gospel has even entered the matter. Reports say that when the news reached the palace the next morning, the other wives were in a state of fiasco. Some were asking why the jewel was the one who saw the vision and not the palace priestess. But let's be direct. The jewel stayed in the place of prayer, while others stay in the place of gossip. While Dr. Sapphire was trying to recover, the great lion reportedly called Ayo again. This time the king's voice was like thunder. He asked her, "What did you put in that room?" Ayo allegedly started stammering, doing exactly what Crown Gist told you we don't do. She was saying, "King, it was just a misunderstanding." But the king is not a man you can play with. Talk. He has heard about the white hen. He has heard about the crawling thing under the blankets. The latest update is that the great lion has ordered a secret spiritual sanitization of that room in Akure. He wants to know if Ayo is involved in some deep society stuff where they use the glory of royal wives to boost their own wealth. My crown gist friends and families, remember that Ayo is a society lady who sells expensive laces and jewelry. Where does that wealth come from? Is it possible that her friendship with the palace was just a way to harvest spiritual ammonia for her business? The suspense is killing everyone in Akure. People are now avoiding Ayo's big mall. They are whispering that if a royal doctor could almost be swallowed in her house, what would happen to an ordinary customer? Dr. Sapphire, on the other hand, has remained coded in the jewel's house. She is realizing that the education her parents gave her about polygamy didn't prepare her for the radioactive jealousy of outside friends. Ayo is reportedly vibrating with fear right now. She knows that once the great lion is involved, there is no hiding place. She has been trying to send people to beg Dr. Sapphire, but the jewel has blocked every entrance. No one goes in and no one comes out without the king's unfiltered permission. This January drama is showing us that your bestie might just be your biggest testy. Why did Ayo get so mad when Dr. Sapphire wanted to leave? Was the sacrifice supposed to happen at exactly 1 a.m.? My crown gist friends and families, the timing of the jewel's call was too perfect to be an accident. It was a divine intervention that mashed Ayo's plan. Now, the question is, what will the great lion do to Ayo? Will she be banned from the palace forever, or will she be made to confess what that crawling snake was really about?
African Nigerian friends and families, the radioactive energy from this Akure showdown is now spreading like a wildfire. As we speak, the investigation into Ayo's massive duplex has turned into something out of a horror movie. You see, when the great lion says he is coming for the truth, he doesn't come with hum questions. He comes with unfiltered action. The latest gist reaching the crown gist desk is that after Dr. Sapphire escaped that night, the great lion sent a high-powered spiritual team to inspect that guest room. My crown gist friends and families, what they found has left everyone's mouth wide open. They say that when they pulled back the very bed where Dr. Sapphire was sleeping, they didn't find dust or lost coins. No, they found a spiritual foundation that was never supposed to be in a human house. Reports are saying there were small calabashes buried under the floor tiles right where the head of the bed sits. Can you imagine the intensity of this betrayal? Ayo, the best friend, the society lady, the one who travels to the UK to buy expensive laces, was allegedly sleeping on top of secrets while Dr. Sapphire was trusting her with her life. This is why the jewel's vision was so direct. The jewel didn't just see a hen, she saw a glory thief in action. They say the white hen that melted was a receiver, It was meant to stay in the room and suck the royal grace and long life from Dr. Sapphire while she slept and then deliver it to Ayo's business empire. When the news of this fiasco reached Ayo, she didn't just vibrate with fear, she reportedly went into a state of total panic. She knows the great lion is not a king you can play with kings. She has been seen trying to move her most expensive goods out of her mall in Akure, fearing that the king's wrath might lead to her business being shut down. But my crown-jaced friends and families, how do you run from a king who has the support of the gods? The suspense is even higher because of Dr. Sapphire's reaction. For the first time, the peaceful doctor has seen the unfiltered reality of the world she married into. She has been crying in the jewel's house, asking how someone she called sister could try to mash her destiny. The jewel has been her rock, telling her, this is why the great lion is a lion. He protects his own. This event has brought the jewel and Dr. Sapphire closer than ever before, creating a power duel that has made the other palace wives very uncomfortable. Gospel, on the other hand, is reportedly watching from the sidelines with a very suspicious eye. Some are asking if Gospel knew about Ayo's deep society connections. Why was Gospel so quiet when Dr. Sapphire was heading to Akure? My crown gist friends and families, these are the curiosity-sparking questions that keep us awake. Is it possible that the coalition of the bitter reaches even outside the palace walls to women like Ayo? The great lion has reportedly placed a royal ban on Ayo. She is no longer allowed within a 10-mile radius of any royal events. But the wala is not over. The king wants the full confession. He wants to know who gave Ayo the ammo to try such a vicious attack on a royal wife. We are hearing that the crawling thing under the blanket was actually a physical manifestation of a spiritual serpent meant to seal the deal that act. If Dr. Sapphire had stayed until 11 a.m., she might not have woken up as the same woman. The intensity of this chase is gripping the whole of Akure and Elio. People are now looking at big society ladies with a side eye. The unfiltered truth is that not every hand that helps you pack your bags is helping you move to a better place. Some are helping you pack your glory into their own suitcase.
My crown gist friends and families, we have reached the finish line of this midnight nightmare, and the final revelation is more radioactive than anything we have discussed this January. The palace is currently in a state of silent war, and the great lion has finally bared his teeth in a way that Ayo never expected. The latest unfiltered gist is that the great lion did not just stop at banning Ayo. No, he sent a final heavy message to her through the palace traditional enforcers. We are hearing that the king demanded that every single gift, every piece of jewelry, and every expensive lace that Ayo ever gave to Dr. Sapphire must be gathered and burnt at a crossroads. Why? Because they say those gifts were trackers used to monitor Dr. Sapphire's every move and drain her spiritual energy even when she was back in the palace. My crown gist friends and families, this is the kind of fiasco that happens when you trust people too much. Ayo is reportedly in total shambles right now. The rumor is that since the night Dr. Sapphire escaped, Ayo's business has started vibrating in the wrong direction. People say her luxury mall in Akure, which used to be bubbling with big spenders, has suddenly become as dry as a desert. It seems that once the spiritual foundation under that guest room was uncovered and mashed by the king's team, the source of her wealth started to dry up. This is the direct consequence of trying to play games with the crown. But let's talk about the jewel. My crown gist friends and families, the jewel has truly shown that she is the mother of the house. She has remained by Dr. Sapphire's side, providing not just a room, but a spiritual shield. We are hearing that the jewel revealed one last secret. The white hen was actually meant to swap destinies. If that prayer hadn't happened at 11 p.m., Dr. Sapphire would have returned to the palace as a shadow of herself, while Ayo would have become even more powerful and influential. This revelation has sent a cold shiver down the spine of everyone in the royal circle. the Great Lion has reportedly made a new decree. From now on, no royal wife is allowed to sleep in the house of a best friend without a full spiritual clearance. He is tired of the security risks. He told his inner circle that he would rather be seen as too strict than to lose a wife to the envy and wickedness of society ladies. Dr. Sapphire has finally stopped crying and has started vibrating with a new kind of strength. She has deleted Ayo's number, blocked her on all social media, and has officially declared that her only best friend from now on is the Jewel and the Great Lion. The intensity of this whole chase has left the coalition of the bitter very quiet. Even Gospel has not made any radioactive comment about this matter. It seems everyone is afraid of the Jewel's vision. They now know that nothing is hidden from the eyes of the woman who prays. If you are planning trouble in the dark, the Jewel will see it in the light.